Hello and welcome to my second video in this three-part series on the Ouroboroid. In my last video, I played the Gruul variant of this deck, a deck that went 4 and 3, not too bad, and it focused a lot more on ramping stuff out and having hasty creatures. This time around, we are on the Golgari variant, and it's pretty cool, but it has a very different game plan. Before I get into the deck and talk a little bit about it, thank you to everyone joining up. As always, if you can continue to help me grow, please subscribe down below and also let me know what your favorite way to play the Ouroboroid has been. Now let's talk a little bit about this deck and then we'll jump into some gameplay. I guess we should of course talk about the big difference, and the big difference between this deck and the Gruul deck is that we have a lot more interaction. We are playing 2 copies of Duress. Of course, this is a best of 1 deck, putting them in the main board. I think maybe even going up a few more copies could be good, but we want to control the opponent's hand as much as possible. Additionally, we are also playing 3 copies of the Deep Cavern Bat, another way of reaching into our opponent's hand, taking out their valuable pieces and making it very hard for them to deal with the board state that we're creating. We are also playing several pieces of removal, 2 copies of Tragic Trajectory. This card works very well with Sentinel of the Nameless City, which is going to give us map tokens. We'll come back to that in a minute. We are playing 2 copies of Bitter Triumph, 3 copies of Shoot the Sheriff. These are 2 of our 2 instant speed interaction spells. A little hard for me to get out. Very valuable with stuff like Kona hitting the field. You got to remove it very quickly or right away. Also does very well against our opponents that are on landfall, able to kill Tifas or big Hydras. And then we are playing Maelstrom Halls, 2 copies. I like this card a lot. It is a little bit expensive at 3 CMC, but it is very good because it can destroy any non-land permanent. We are not very good at destroying artifacts, and if we run into the synthesizer deck, we could be in trouble. However, with the Maelstrom Pulse, we can wipe out all of their synthesizers, we can wipe out all of their star cages, what have you. Now, we are also still a creature-based deck, so we are playing a bunch of creatures. Only 1 creature in the 1 slot, Llanowar Elves, because, well, this is really good. It allows us to ramp into our big stuff. Getting out an Unholy Annex on turn 2 is massive if we can do that. And then it's a good creature that's just going to get pumped up with the Ouroboroid. Next, we are playing the Deep Cavern Bat, already mentioned, and 4 copies of Demon Wall. This card is actually super sweet because it works with our Unholy Annex. Again, we'll get back to it. And then if we pump it up with the Ouroboroid, we can attack in. It does have an ability that allows you to put 2+1/+1 counters on this creature, but it costs 6 mana. And this Demon Wall cannot attack unless it has counters on it. But you put some counters on it and suddenly it's a menace attacking beast. Thing is kind of out of control. And then 3 copies of the Mosswood Dread Knight. This card is insane. I kind of want to have 4 copies in. Eventually, maybe if I tweak the deck a little bit, that might be the case. It has 2 sides. The sorcery side, Dread Whispers. Draw a card, lose a life. Pretty simple. But a lot of the time, we're just going to be throwing this out on turn 2 as a 3/2 trampling creature. And if this thing dies, we can still cast it for the Dread Whisper side from the graveyard. Then we can cast it out as the Dread Knight once again. It is a very hard card for our opponents to deal with. They essentially have to exile it, or it's just going to be a thorn in their side. 4 copies of Sentinel of the Nameless City. This card, like I said, makes a map token when it enters and when it attacks. It has Vigilance. It's a 3/4 for 3. Very good creature to have on the field because it's a great blocker. It's an annoying attacker. It's going to be giving us map tokens that we can keep cracking to use Tragic Trajectory or just to thin our deck out, get some of the lands off the top of our deck. Overall, a very powerful card. I think it's an underappreciated card and probably not seeing as much play as it should. Of course, 4 copies of Ouroboroid. If you watched the last video, you know what it does. It's going to pump up our team. That's all I got to say about that. And then the last card, I guess I can do it that way. Botching this. It goes over here. I'm always trying to position things so we can read it properly. Unholy Annex and Ritual Chamber. This is essentially a creature that we can pump up with our Ouroboroid, but it's also just a 6/6 demon for 5. Not too bad. And then most importantly, Unholy Annex is going to be pinging our opponent as long as we have the Demon Wall on the field or the demon from the Ritual Chamber. Most importantly though, it's going to be drawing us cards. So this deck, unlike the Gruul deck, is going to have access to card draw. It's also going to have access to a lot of interaction, and it is still presenting a pretty nice wide threatening board. Over in the lands, the only card to really mention is the 2 copies of the Restless Cottage. If we do end up getting board wiped, we still have a creature land that we can turn on and attack in 4 damage. Not too bad for 4 mana. 5 mana, I guess, if you count itself. So that is the makeup of the Golgari version of the Ouroboroid deck. We're going to run it through some games and see how it stacks up to the Gruul list. Jump into some games. All right, time for some Golgari Ouroboroid. Let's hope we run into some super fair, fun opponents playing stuff that is not going to just poop on us. I will say I have been playing this deck a little bit since recording the Gruul version, and I honestly thought that this version was going to be the better version. This is actually the version of the deck that started this whole experiment. Somebody posted in the Discord, hey, try out this Golgari deck, and at that point I said, okay, you know what, sure, let's see what this is all about. But honestly, this deck has not been playing all that well. The Gruul variant definitely seems to have a more consistent game plan and just better game plan overall. We're going to be Maelstrom pulsing these 2 cards on the following turn. Do I want to Mosswood? Yeah, let's just put out the Dread Knight as it is. It's a 3/2 blocker. It's pretty good. It might give them pause with the higher claw. What they might end up doing is put out a land, attack in, and then like feign a pump on the higher claw. Or maybe they just kill the Dread Knight and it's fine. It goes into our graveyard and we can still cast it later. So not the worst situation. Is the opponent on 1 land? Oh, the opponent's on 1 land. The opponent's on 1 land. Let's blow them out. They've still done 7 points of damage to us. Yeah, kind of good. Kind of good. But we do get out a Sentinel of the Nameless City. Very powerful card in this situation. We'll put out the other Restless Cottage. And I think we just need to take advantage of an opponent that is stuck on lands. And hey, you know what? Sometimes you need a win like this. All right. Now the opponent does have a chance. They're gonna 10 damage, not a ton when we are on 7, or sorry, what am I saying? They're on mono red. Doing that much damage is not going to be that hard. That being said, we are now going to be gaining 2 damage a turn. I don't know why I'm justifying it. We're in a very good position. We're probably fine, more than fine. There's no way they're going to do 9 damage. There's no way they're going to deal with this board. Okie dokie. So sorry, opponent. That was a bit of a rough one for you, but we'll attack in nice and quickly and just grab game 1. Okay. Good start for the Golgari deck, and I'm happy to get that because I'm a little apprehensive about this deck. All right. I do have, I finally decided to get the notepad. I've been talking about this for a while. I got to get a notepad going on the side monitor or something on beside me so I can keep track of stuff. What do you do? Why does it have to be 3 Verges? Because then I only have green mana. So that means that I can only cast out a Sentinel on turn 3. Do you keep this? This is... Okay, I'm going to try it. I'm going to see. It's possible we draw the forest or the swamp and then we'll be fine. The opponent's probably on... not great. The opponent's probably on artifacts. Pretty cool. So we need this Sentinel of the Nameless City desperately on the field right now because we have a lot of black mana and oh, don't kill it. No. So we have a whole bunch of maps and we have nothing to put the maps on. Are we just going to get punished because we're being bad players? Maybe the opponent's not actually on artifacts. They're just on your basic stock your stock control list. We do get our Black Source. Here we go. We're going, hey, okay. So, you know what? Let's reach into their hand with the Deep Cavern Bat. If we can get this Unholy Annex onto the field, that's going to be pretty powerful. They might have a hard time dealing with it. So, Day of Judgment, of course, they're on this trap. I'm so tired of Mill. How do you guys feel about Mill? It's, that Singularity Rupture, the Riverturn Monument, it's just so lame to go against. Like, as a creature, mainly creature-based player, this card just tilts me so much. Okay. Again, we could reach into their hand, grab the Day of Judgment. It's possible that they're going to be using the Ride's End to hit our Deep Cavern Bat. It kind of seems like whatever we do here, we're kind of in trouble. So maybe what the play is actually just Demon Wall. Use this on the Demon Wall. Try to thin the top of our deck a little bit. We'll see what's there. There's a land. Good. We haven't made our land drop for the turn, so it's always good to do that. We haven't found our creature land, though. Okay. I'm going to keep that. Rides End exiles when they attack. Okay, so they have two good ways of... No, there's no reason. Okay, we'll hold on to this other map. And I'm not going to attack. I'm going to make it a little bit awkward for them to get rid of these creatures. They're going to have to use the Day of Judgment next turn. Ugh, of course. Right. Don't keep stuff on the top. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. We draw a card with our Unholy Annex. And it's a land, so that's okay. But still, we want the creature land. Give us the creature land. There's the Day of Judgment. Fine. We knew it was coming. They're down to one land. This does cost them 1 mana to do, but they can end up doing it. Okay, Demon Wall, so we can keep draining them. And do I want to put out the Sentinel as well? I think it's fine to go out with the Sentinel. We need to present more than just a Demon Wall to entice them to do something. And why not crack the map onto the Demon Wall, try to put a +1/+1 counter on the Demon Wall. It is, and it's a second Demon Wall. And I keep it on the top of my library kind of foolishly because the opponent is just going to mill it away. I suppose we're against mill. We don't want to be helping them anyways. So it's just what's going to be happening. Okay. Again, ping. We still do have a demon here with our Ritual Chamber. I don't think I put any other Unholy Annexes in the graveyard. This might actually end up just being an Unholy Annex kind of game. Ooh, the Maelstrom Pulse really good here. So if I Maelstrom Pulse on the fish, I can get in at least with the Demon Wall. You know what? I could probably... They don't have enough... They do have enough mana. Man, I hate this. So they can actually exile any tapped permanent because they have 2 open mana. A little awkward. So we have 2, 4, 6, 7 mana. We can do everything. Oh, okay, let's see what else is in their hand. Well, Deep Cavern Bat. Try to grab, I suppose... Oh, they have the 3... No More Lies. Very good here. Very, very good. So what do you grab? Stock Up instead, and you just kind of suffer through what's happening? Yeah, I guess we grab that. And then we'll put this on the Sentinel, try to draw something off the top of our deck. We're leaving whatever it is. Hey, that's what we want to see. And then from here, I think we just kind of pass the turn. We do have... How much mana do we have available? We have 4 open mana. Okay, pass it over the opponent. Drain them for a little bit. They're going to mill us for a little bit. We draw a Mosswood Dread Knight. I wouldn't have minded that going into the graveyard, actually, because then we could have cast it out from the graveyard. They hit another one of our Ouroboroids. We don't want these going to the graveyard. We want to play these. That's the namesake card of today. They are passing it. So I think I have to take my chance here and try to hit the Biza. Probably they No More Lies. Whoa, that's surprising. Okay. So still, they have the Ride's End. There's nothing I can really do about that. They have... I guess the Sentinel can just attack in pretty freely. You know what? Let's do this. Let's see what we get with the Mosswood Dread Knight. They might actually be looking at doing this. They also have a Demolition Field for our Restless Cottage, so the Restless Cottage is a little bit offline. Okay, let's just attack in with the Sentinel. Create a map token, always good to do. It doesn't tap it, so they can still exile it if they want. They just have to pay 5 mana for it. And instead, they decide to block. And from here, I don't really want to overextend too much more. But at the same time, like, what am I really doing if I'm just sitting here? Okay, let's put out the Dread Knight. If it dies, it's fine for it to die, right? If it dies, we can draw a card off of it. Our life total is not a big deal. If we have to, you know, pay the 1 life for that, who cares? This is going to be huge. We need to try to get this on the field through a 3 steps ahead. So they decide that they're going to copy the River Churn Monument. Is that bad for us? That seems bad for us. Okay. So are we... Okay, we only have 12 cards in our graveyard, so they can't exhaust, and kill us with that yet. I think we might have to bait them into a position where they're tapped out, they can't use the No More... Oh, they pitched the No More Lies. Okay, there's... Oh, no, now we're just dead. Well, I don't know why I thought... Yeah, again, these mill decks always get me down, because they always just, like, stall out until it's too late, and of course mill twice as much and then twice as much again. Opinions on mill? Let me know what you think. I always hate losing to mill. I'm sure there's going to be some of you out there that are thinking, what, mill? I love going up against mill. It's such an easy matchup for me. I'm sure those people exist. I'm sure you exist. But for me, I absolutely loathe it, and it's very clear why I loathe it. It's because of the type of player I am, because their strategy plays, my strategy plays so well into their strategy. What is this? So Ashiok is going to be horrible. Shoot the Sheriff, split up. I mean, I guess I'm going to take the Ashiok, because that's probably going to be one of the bigger problems eventually for my deck. They draw a Carrot Cake, so this is a... Okay. I don't know. So we'll put this out, and then I suppose let's go grab the Shoot the Sheriff. It's a temporary band-aid, but we'll put out a Deep Cavern Bat, and I think this is going to be another miserable one for us. Again, their strategy very much playing into, or our strategy very much playing into their defense against us. But that's just what's going to be happening. So let's attack in with the Deep Cavern Bat, and then I think it's probably pretty safe to put out the Llanowar Elf, because they're going to split up. They're probably going to split up, hitting tapped creatures, I'm going to assume, before combat, and then they'll attack in with their 2 rabbits. Why? Why do I have to suffer through this? Right? Ooh. So maybe they're going after the Llanowar Elf instead of... Or maybe they're just not board wiping? Okay, well, we're on a very anemic draw here. That's fantastic. They're going to Fountain Port and probably create... I don't know. Or maybe they'll do this. This is instant speed, right? Yeah, they could just exile a target non-land permanent, but there is the Fountain Port. Draw some cards. And there's not a whole lot we can do. This is a very bad hand against what the opponent's doing. Like, you have spot removal against an opponent who's on board wipe tribal. Okay. And somehow they're at higher life total than we are. Sure. Well, we'll keep attacking in with the Deep Cavern Bat. I think this can make a fish. Yeah, so there was no point in attacking with the Llanowar Elf. But they're just drawing cards. Why not? Fountain Port, great card. Always a great card. Never a great card for us to go up against, though. So yeah, this Golgari deck, I have been struggling with it, to say the least. It has not been doing what I want it to do. And I don't know if it's just because it's not really well positioned against the meta. This is bad. They're just going to inevitably defeat this thing. But yeah, maybe the positioning in the meta is not very good right now for this type of deck. It feels... When I look at this Golgari deck, I feel like there's no reason that this deck shouldn't just be pounding opponents. And honestly, I cannot get anything going with this deck. It feels like... It has been a bit of a struggle in testing, and in the last game against the mill deck, against this deck, things just feel so rough. But we do get to reach another hand, finally grab something. So what does this say? Destroy all artifacts and creatures end to turn. Exile all spells and abilities from the stack, including this card. The player whose turn it is discards down to their maximum hand side. Damage wears off, and this turn and until the end of turn effects wear off. So if they Ultima my Dread Knight, it's still going to go into the graveyard. It's fine. So I guess we take the split up. I put out the Dread Knight, and I coax them into wiping the board, because that's kind of what we need to be doing. They make their fish. Honestly, I could shoot the fish and it will prevent them from drawing. I think probably, well, no, I think it's okay. We'll see. I don't think they can Ultima and draw with the fish. Well, maybe with that land drop. No, maybe they decided, you know what, let's draw. This threat is not enough for them to fire off the, what's going on here? Fire off the Ultima just yet. They're at 21 life. I've hit how many times have I hit? Has my Deep Cavern Bat been healing them? It kind of, when you draw spot removal, you have what is this deck? Is there win con, like win with fish? Ugh, gross. If I put out the Sentinel, no, I have to put up the Sentinel, because they're just going to shoot the Sheriff on the Mosswood probably, or on the Sentinel. Sure. It's not going to get them to throw out the Ultima. I needed to put something on the field to get them, willing to remove the field. Okay, we draw a land, we put out a land. It's not we really need our creature land right now, the Restless Cottage. But this is bad. What is this deck? Why do I have to go up against Mill and then follow it up with Boardwipe Tribal? It's gotta be tilting for people. It's not just me, is it? Am I weak? Is this a Apogee MTG problem? Is this me being a little whiny baby? This is not fun, right? Interaction's fun, but when it's just like I'm hooking in for a 40-minute game and my opponent just has to sit here and deal with it. I don't play that game. Okay, let's see what they drew. Ashiok. Oh my god, it's so good, right? How do you draw? Again, they're drawing a lot with this Fountain Port. It's such a great card. You know what? Let's start getting. They want to put a fish in front of the Llanowar Elf. They put a fish in front of the Llanowar Elf. Whatever. I'm also at a point, well, where I'm gonna shoot the fish. But okay, I think this time they are definitely deciding to Ultima. If they Ultima, they don't get Ashiok back, do they? Let's find out. I'm pretty sure they do not. And I'm wondering if the opponent knows that. Oh, they draw a card. Man, they are... I've never seen an opponent that is so patient. Okay, what do you think? Does the Ashiok go back to hand? I am betting it doesn't. That doesn't make sense to me. Why? Everything... It doesn't... The Ultima should just end the turn right there. And then... I'm bitter. Okay, let's Unholy Annex. They have the inevitable defeat. We get to... If that were a land, we could have also put out the Ritual Chamber. Now they're going to defeat it and put out their Ashiok. Okay, so the opponent, they like lasted long enough for us to just be done. Okay, I can kill the Ashiok. I guess that's a thing. Oh, I'm at 11 life? Okay. All right. That's fine. That's cool. Real cool. And I gotta use all my cards to murder these horses. Okay, fine. So Ashiok 3-for-1 me. Fair. Let's take a little bit more damage. They're up to 20. I'm down to 7. Oh, it's a disaster. Toasted waffles. Oh, man, when you play games like that, when you're making a video and you're recording and you're like, this is what should I have kept this game going? Should I have just scooped it up for the sake of making a better video? Because this has to kill the momentum of a video. If you're a person watching, please give me some feedback on this one. If you're oh, that's surprising. If you're watching this, are you like in a position where you're like, oh my god, this game is just dragging on, it's not doing anything, the opponent is just beating this poor person down, this is boring, am I going to click off the video? They now have a Liliana, they can make me sacrifice both creatures. Finally. What kind of top decks were those from the opponent, by the way? Liliana, Caretaker's Talent. Oh, tilted. I'm not going to talk about the last games. Hey guys, fresh video. We're going to start again. We're playing Golgari. And we're going to pretend like this is game 1. It's fine. We lost a couple of bad ones, and now we're going to go up against Martin. We're going to have a good game against Martin. Let's go see what Martin has in their hand. Always nice to be able to reveal our opponent's hand right off the start. They are on Simic, and they are ramping. So, we have another one. They're going to play out the Botanical Sanctum next turn and probably not do anything. So do I just take the bounce off, play out a second Deep Cavern Bat, take the Bloom Vine? Probably. Sure. This is all going to fall apart, though. This is my problem with the Deep Cavern Bat. It always just ends up crumbling, because we can... I'm a broken man. Why did I queue into this day? Like, did I wake up and the magic gods were like, you know what? I'm not gonna let you have a good video. We're gonna ruin this. Oh, you're putting +1/+1 counters on creatures? Aetherize. And there's no way. Did they draw the... Okay. It scared me. I thought they drew a counter spell. I need this Unholy Annex on the field. If I don't have this on the field, we are very much dead. This is my only hope. So we're gonna have to fight through their ramp. We missed land drops. Okay, we hit not a great land drop, and then we're gonna have to deal with this Aetherize, and we're gonna have to deal with the Meringue River region, which... Okay. And a Lumbering World Wagon is pretty good too. Man, they just have everything. That's fine. We can play around the Aetherize. We can't really play around the river region. It is what it is. We do have an Ouroboroid, though, in hand. Like a few more lands. What is their plan? They might just hard cast the... Nope, that's fine. So they put this out. They're going to draw a card. They're going to put the Meringue River region onto the field for free. Cool. Bounce. Okay. Okay. So probably we need to destroy that. But the follow-up is really bad because we haven't been hitting our lands. Still, I think it's okay. Bitter Triumph on the Meringue River region. What is this last card? They have something. Okay, we'll attack for 1, take them down to 15, and you know what? Yeah, let's reach into their hand. I'm too curious about what that last card is. They did draw a counterspell. Oh, and we were so lucky that we were able to... They didn't have a dragon in hand to behold it. They draw another Vestige. I don't know. I can't... I think... Today's not my day. I can't beat opponents who are drawing such fire every single turn. They only have 2 mana open. We're going to try. We're going to try to do it. We are going to get hit by a World Wagon next turn, which probably is fine. I just let that happen. Do I put out the Demon, or do I put out the... you know what? We're going to put out the Unholy Annex. We're going to put out the Demon Wall. Okay. This is fine. Drain ya. Hey, drawn lands. Okay. We still have a hope. If we do have this Maelstrom Pulse, it's possible that we can anti-causal... We can double up on the anti-causals. Then again, though, when those anti-causals disappear, they're going to be doing a lot of damage, or putting a lot of stuff on the field. They have only 2 mana open, so now might be our opportunity to actually get this onto the field. And that's going to allow me to pump up the Demon Wall. Yeah. Okay. Do I also want to do Dread Knight? Yep. We're doing it. We're gonna put a big board out. We're attacking for 6. We're gonna do another 2 damage. They're down to 4. And we still have the Ritual Chamber Demon. And we also have 2 Maelstrom Pulses. I guess they... Everybody's favorite, Ugin! How much do you hate Ugin? Still, it's fine. Oh, this actually, this is fine. This is fine. That's less fine. They think they're safe behind these 2 anti-causal vestiges, but we have it. We have it. All right. All right. I can feel better about this. I know I was wincing a lot. Please ignore the wincing. It looked very, very dire with how we were drawing, but thankfully things went well enough. So let's Maelstrom Pulse both of these. These cards are useless to them. Oh, they do... They draw, though. Oh, I forgot that they draw. Okay. Please don't have something... Okay, good. Okay. I can't look at it. Oh, okay. Why this deck needs to be more powerful. These games shouldn't be so hard. I should point out, again, my Ouroboroid hit the field. Opponent immediately had the answer for it. How do people not immediately experience that every single time they play an Ouroboroid? Okay, we're going to take a little bit of damage, but we want to duress our opponent. I think turn 1 duress probably going to be okay, and our opponent is on... Cool. We're getting rid of Corpses of the Lost. They're playing Skeletons. We got ourselves a gamer. Okay, so we are going to have a turn 3 Unholy Annex. That's going to be pretty good for us. That being said, they do have the Bitter Triumph to be able to destroy our demon eventually. But we are probably going to draw enough power. One little problem I have with this deck is that it's not... this one doesn't feel like an Ouroboroid deck. It feels like a Unholy Annex Demon deck featuring Ouroboroid. And maybe that's not, like, too bad. But at the same time, I don't know. Something a little bit cheapens the experience. They drew another Corpse of the Lost, which is very bad for us. So there's so much we need to take. I'll take this. I will also play out this other Deep Cavern Bat, take a little bit more damage, because why not? And I honestly think I have to take the Forsaken Miner, which is insane. Oh, playing Soulstone Sanctuary in this deck is actually really interesting. Next turn, we're going to have to get a demon on the field because we need to stop destroying ourselves. And then we'll be able to draw a little bit of, or gain a little bit of life with these Deep Cavern Bats attacking in. Hopefully try to stabilize a bit. Okay, they're only getting in for 3 damage. I can deal with that. But we absolutely need... You know what? Let's do it this way. I don't think this backfires on me. But we now have a 6/6. We're attacking in for 2, gaining 2 life, gaining another 2 life on the Unholy Annex. And again, yeah, it feels like a demon Annex deck more than anything else. That being said, I did draw the Ouroboroid there. So next turn we can use the Tragic Trajectory to kill their 3/2. And then put out the Ouroboroid. The Ouroboroid is going to be gaining us a lot more life. Oh, man. Do they bring the Forsaken Miner onto the field? They don't. So they want to use both. They want to use Bitter Triumph and Bitter Triumph on the demon, so they're going to be dealing 6 points of damage to us this turn. Again, devastating for them to be able to do that. Deep Cavern Bat. I know I need to have it in this deck because I think it works properly with... And they have the Bloodghast sitting there too. Oh, man. What a cool deck the opponent has. And they bring this back to their hand. Am I just dead? I mean, I have to unlock this. And I have to take, great, 1 more point of damage. And I have to put out this Llanowar Elf as a blocker. And I have to attack in with the Deep Cavern Bat. But we're in such a poor position. 7 life. They can attack in with another 3/2. We can kill something. We're going to have to kill the 3/2 so that the corpses doesn't bounce back. This... Does it go in front of this? That's 7 damage though. Oh my god, they just get us. Okay, GG opponent. That's cool. They had the cards that worked out. We were too slow, and Deep Cavern Bat not being good enough to slow down the opponent's removal. Dang. This Golgari deck, maybe it's trying to do too much. It's split between 2 archetypes, and as a result, I'm just not jiving with it. But yeah, something feels really off. Ooh, this hand looks problematic. I'm gonna try it though. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm just keeping horrid hands when I should be throwing these hands away. Still, the matchups have been varied. It's pretty cool to see a lot of different things coming out from opponents, but unfortunately, not really. I don't know, the deck doesn't feel like it's functioning the way that it should be functioning. There's nothing we can do about an Unholy Annex. We're going to be putting out an Unholy Annex of our own, though. I think it's probably fair to just slam it so that we stay on parity. We do got to take a damage, though. I'm going to take 3 damage to do this. That's fine. In a couple of turns, we can get our demon onto the field. They're probably going to take the Bitter Triumph. Now I'm thinking I was going to say we need to keep the Bitter Triumph for their demon, but now I'm thinking I got to put out the Sentinel of the Nameless City so that I have a way of killing their demons with these tragic trajectories. We're going to need maps on the field. I think that is still the course of action. So, Sentinel, Llanowar Elf, take a little bit more damage. Shoot the Sheriff, very good. So next turn I can map, shoot, trajectory, maybe completely clear their board. Actually, I can just shoot trajectory. Ooh, okay. It's really, okay, that makes more sense. I was going to say it's a little bit surprising that they're going after my board instead of making a demon. Which, it was the play by the opponent. Oh man, what do I do here though? You know what? I think it's actually going to be my own Ritual Chamber, number 2. Make a demon, drain them, and then draw a little bit more. Just take my time. I really want to kill the Ritual Chamber, and I really want to get these trajectories having like maximum value. Of course, they have another point of removal. But they are stuck on lands. That's a good thing for us. You know what? Here we go. Unlock the demon once again. I'm not going to use this turn. We're just going to try to drain them. Oh, don't have a third. Shoot the... oh my god, the opponent. Okay, well, at least the trajectory's on. I can hit them with that so that they stop draining me for life. But now I don't have any demons available to me. That means I'm on a very small clock. Okay. Wow. Sure. So we have to do this, but the thing is, I'm just dead, right? Yeah. I have to do it this way. I have to save this Shoot the Sheriff for their other demon, but I can't get rid of this. This is just what's going to kill me. I have 2-turn clock minimum. Maybe it's a 1-turn clock if they are able to make 2 demons here. Ugh, okay. So we can shoot it, thankfully. If you know what, if it's a demon and if I can keep it on the field, hey, you never know. There might be some rebounding, but it's not a demon. It's worth it to draw a card here. Hey, ooh, okay, okay, okay. You're telling me there's a chance. Okay. You're telling me there's a chance. You're telling me I can... maybe I should have put out the Mosswood there, actually. Let's crack this onto the Demon Wall. I'll keep the Mosswood. I think it's fine. So they have this Rush of Dread. Rush of Dread, it's going to make me sacrifice half my creatures. But now they just have that demon. That's right. And we draw not what we need. So let's do this for removal. No, it's not removal. We take 1 more point of damage. And we're dead in the air because there's nothing I can do about it. At the very least, I can unlock this. I can put out a Sentinel, and the game is over. Let's see if the opponent is a cool one, and just attacks in for 6. No, we were not finding our removal for it. Okie dokie. The opponent is not a cool one, and they need to play out their cards. I suppose people, I should not be too hard. Maybe they're doing quests. Last one. Okie dokie. Yeah. Sometimes you hit the record button and you get to a point where you're just like, man, I want this to be over. I'm not having fun with this deck. This deck, it just, I'll talk about it later, but it just feels kind of at odds with itself, against so many matchups, and nothing really feels good. You would think that the synergy that's clearly going on in the deck would end up being pretty good, but in the end, it just feels very uncomfortable, very awkward. You know what? I'm going to go out with the Sentinel over the Unholy Annex. I think our opponent is on artifacts. They're going to have a little bit of a hard time dealing with the Sentinel, and then if we can slam down an Ouroboroid, I suppose on this turn it starts getting things going really well. And then on the following turn we can go potentially Unholy Annex into Demon Wall. I don't think they have anything to do here. I don't know what the delay is. And Cryogenic Relic doesn't really work very well against the Sentinel of the Nameless City. Sentinel of the Nameless City, very powerful card. And of course. Why is this not going away? Go away. No. Okay, there we go. Again, how do you keep Ouroboroids on the field? It's not a real thing. All of you are gaslighting me by saying that Ouroboroids, when they hit the field, they're able to stay on the field. It doesn't happen. It's not real. I'm certain it's not real. Hey, Restless Cottage. That's going to probably be pretty good in this matchup. Hopefully they don't have the Star Cage. Star Cage. Oh, it's coming still. It's just one extra step before the Star Cage happens. And of course it's going to wipe out all my map tokens as well. But still. Not a Star Cage. Whoa, 2 spring-loaded. Boo-boo. Okay, that's fine. We're still going to hit them for 6 next turn. Got the Maelstrom Pulse. That's kind of interesting. Okay, so we'll crack this. They gain a little bit of life. Actually, that life gain is pretty annoying. And we hit them for 4 and then another 2. Drawing lands. And this Restless Cottage definitely has to hit the field very soon. Maelstrom Pulse being sorcery speed a little bit awkward. However, we can still get the pump out of the Ouroboroid potentially. That's fine. It's not great, but it's okay. So do we win? No, because this is not on the field yet. What am I saying? I could... No, we don't want to hit that. We could just hit this. and put them into a spot. I think it's fine to do that. So then the Sentinel is going to get a little bit bigger. It's going to be a 5/6. They are at a pretty healthy life total, but this Sentinel, like I said, it's going to be very hard for them to deal with, and now they have to deal with the Ouroboroid on the following turn. It's going to be 4 damage. And then we have the Restless Cottage for the following turn. I think it's fine to do this. Why not? Llanowar Elf, I think, is too cute. We don't need that. I'd love to find another Unholy Annex. Duress. Duress is going to be okay. United Battlefront, of course. Another card that opponents always just kind of seem to have, right? So this is, no, it's okay. We're fine still. We're fine. I don't think they have anything they can do for 1 mana. Maybe they have, no, okay. Well, yeah, we can Duress. We got a couple of different avenues here. Let's just make sure that there's nothing in their hand that can ruin us. We'll grab this. We'll turn on the Restless Cottage, and we finish. We finish with a win. Okay. Well, shouldn't be this hard. It should not be this hard. Okie dokie, looking over at the stats page, we are at a 40% win rate after 20 games, 8 and 12. Not very satisfying. And some of those wins I felt like were, they were free wins. That being said, our opponents definitely had some wins where we struggled and just didn't have the land drops as well, or we drew the wrong side of our deck. So it happens. It goes both ways. Still, I thought the Gruul deck was going to perform a lot worse. But the Gruul deck feels good to play. The Gruul deck kind of pumps along. You get your cards out. It has those hasty creatures. It has good ramp. And you're excited to get a Ouroboroid. For some reason, when I played this deck, it just doesn't feel like Ouroboroid ever really gets a chance to pump things up. And then I started thinking, okay, well, am I a little bit short on creatures? I'm not really short on creatures. I do have quite a few of them. That being said, most of the creatures are a little expensive. Your Deep Cavern Bat is a lightning rod. It hits the field and then it's immediately destroyed every single time. Your Demon Wall, great card, but same thing. Opponents are so afraid of Demon Wall Unholy Annex that, I don't know, for some reason they like manifest removal into their hand every single time it hits the field. Your Dread Knight, again, you're a little bit torn. Sometimes you're doing this for the Dread Whispers, but sometimes you're just playing it on the field. But I don't know. When I look at this, I'm like, that's enough creatures. It should support the Ouroboroid plan. But in the end, something just doesn't really feel right. I like the removal package. The removal package feels good when you go up against decks that it's effective against. And Maelstrom Pulse really impressed me. I think this is just a really good card that's probably a little underappreciated. But in the end, maybe because we're split between this Demon and Ouroboroid plan, they're actually at odds with each other for some reason, or they're just not quite fitting. You know when you're building a puzzle and like you put the two pieces together and they kind of fit and you're like, is that the right piece? And then you're like, I don't know, it's kind of the right piece, but it's not quite the right piece. Am I crazy? You know what I'm talking about? Sometimes I get that when I'm doing a jigsaw puzzle. Occasionally I do jigsaw puzzles. That's kind of how this deck feels. It feels like the pieces are just close, but not right. And in the end, this is not the right shell for Ouroboroid, I don't believe. And maybe that's supported by, when you look online, you do not find Golgari Ouroboroid lists. You find a few Gruul lists, you find quite a few Simic decks, but you do not find Golgari. You just don't. There are a few out there, but a few doesn't mean anything. That's just like somebody like me trying to make it work, and I just don't think it does. So please, let me know what you think about this one. Is there something that's going on with this deck? Should we just be cutting the Demon package and maybe leaning into more of a low-end, you know what, even maybe cut the Disruptive package, go Protection, a little bit of removal, grab some better 1 CMC green cards, but then you may as well just play Gruul, right? Anyways, yeah, let me know what you think about this one. That's it for this video. Oh, quick little thing. These cards are over here too. These were sideboard cards that were cut from some of the other decks that people were recommending. I thought Cecil, yeah, cool. Maybe he could go in the deck, but I didn't like. I wanted to have green low end, but maybe now that I'm into duress, Cecil could be a better addition to the deck. Preacher, I felt was too expensive. Elegy, Acolyte, also too expensive. And then the Disruptive Stormbrew, yeah, you could play it as removal. Maybe it's better removal than something like Shoot the Sheriff. It is sorcery speed though. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, I thought I should show the sideboard. That's what those cards are over there. Those were cards that were cut. That's it for this one. Take care, and I'll see you in the final Ouroboroid video, the Simic variant, the one that should perform the best. Have a good day. Catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.